Hi everyone, and today we will be learning how to play Old Melinda, which is an old-time fiddle tune. To introduce myself, my name is Samantha Crawford and I am from Tallahassee, Florida. Before we officially start playing, I do want to thank the Florida State Fiddlers Association for making all of this possible. And now for the moment that you all have been waiting for, I'm now going to play Old Melinda at an average speed before we start to kind of chunk it through and get through learning it. To go through chunking it. So the first part we're going to be doing, I will play it through at average speed, and then I'll show you all how to break it down, how to think about it, and make it a bit more manageable. So the first part we'll be learning is... So for that, the three strings that we're going to be playing on are the D string, the G string, and the A string, and everything is pretty much stepwise motion, so there's no large leaps that you have to concern yourself with for now, and I'll play it a lot slower for you all, and it's... And then I'll play it once again for you all. So the second part to this is almost the same, but there's a twist at the end, and on average speed it sounds like... So the strings that we're playing on are the D string and the G string, and a bit slower again it is. And it's similar to that stepwise motion where it is again. So combining those first two parts, it will sound like... Now once you have that first part down, we're going to play it one more time until we move on to that second part of the chunking process. And one more time it is... Now for this second part, it's going to sound almost the exact same, but again there will be a twist. So that slower part is... And if you're thinking that sounds familiar, well, you're absolutely right. It sounds like the beginning of Old Melinda, but we're just going to play it through one more time before we move on. Now the fourth part of it is going to be on the A string, the D string, and the G string, and it's also going to move towards stepwise motion, and it sounds like... So to play it a bit slower, it sounds similar to... And then one more time, it's... So to play those last two parts again, it is... everything that we've learned so far very slowly on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Play that section in the song twice over so it sounds like this, and you're going to play it. Once you're done playing that first part, you're going to want to repeat it, and it will sound like this. Now the second part that we're going to be learning is on the A string and on the E string, and I'll play the first chunk of what we'll be learning and then I'll slow it down for you all. So, a little bit slower, it's going to sound like this. And then one more time. And then the second part to that is and a bit slower. And as you all notice, that is also on, again, the A and the E string, and it's moving in stepwise in motion, so there's nothing really new going on. And when you play those two parts together, it sounds like this. And I'll play it slowly for you all several times. And then again. And the second half to this part is almost follows the same pattern as the first part, where it repeats slightly again. So it'll sound like this, chunking it. And a bit slower this time. And then one more time. And then the next part will sound like this, chunking. And then. So again, in that section you're going to be using all 4 of your strings, so it'll sound like this slowed down. And then one more time. And to play that full second section again, it'll sound like this. Time. And before we learn the final part, I do want to go over the first few parts that we've learned starting from the beginning, and we're going to play it together very slowly. 1, 2, 3. It's going to sound like this. So notice I'm only using the A string with my fourth finger as the E, but if you feel as if you want to use the open E, you are more than welcome to do so, and it is mostly C, D, and E. I'm going to slow it down for you all once again. And then that next part is going to sound like this. And that's using the D string, the A string, and the E string. And I'll slow it down for you all. And then a little bit slower. Those two parts combined, it's going to sound like this. And then for the third part of this, you're going to want to repeat again. So it's going to sound like this. And a little bit slower now. It's going to sound like this. And then once again. And then we're going to play it all the way through for the third and final part. It's going to sound like this. Want to play that part and repeat it twice. So here's how it's going to sound like playing it twice at average speed. Now you have learned Old Melinda through chunking, so we're going to play it through slowly several times, and then we're going to talk about embellishments that you can make on the piece, and then we're going to play it at full speed. But one thing you're always going to want to remember is that these parts repeat twice. And with that, again, on the count of 3 and a breath. 1, 2, 3. Repeat. one more time, and then I'm going to show you all the embellishments and how it sounds like in full speed as a loop around. So again, 1, 2, 3. Embellishments on this piece, I usually like to slide around, and that usually happens with that first finger on the D, which is the E note, and usually it'll sound like this. Or a midi slide on that C. So this is what it sounds like with those embellishments, and sometimes I also like to use the open G rather, where I'm playing any note on the D string. It sounds like this. Have successfully mastered Old Melinda, and I want to thank all of you all for listening, and I do want to sincerely thank the Florida State Fiddlers Association for again making this all possible.